say why we're here. This doesn't have the title or...
Why we're here?
Yeah.
Today is June 7th. We're at the Beth Jacobs Synagogue celebrating Marcy's graduation from Hillel High School. Is it a high school?
Yeah.
And the whole family is here enjoying the pleasure of being with her for her graduation. May she have many more. At least one more.
I'm just thinking about how much time.
No, he's all right. I mean, I can't lie the language this whole. But I'll tell you.
Right, that's enough.
Singing of the Star Spangled Banner and Hatikvah, led by Lloyd Bernstein.
Do not separate yourself from community. In a place where God are no men, strive to be a man. Before judging, very proud you must feel at this special moment. And to you, the graduates, who have proven your merit and abilities in having reached this special moment, I wish the very best of luck to each and every one of you in all your future endeavors. I would now like to call upon Mr. Charles Abramovitz, President of the...
On behalf of the Jewish Federation of Hillel Academy, in our continuing concern to improve Jewish education, the Federation has broadened its relationship with Hillel, establishing closer connections for all Jews, or wherever you may choose to live. Only by your increasing commitment can our generation be assured that there will be a Jewish presence in the next generation.
To add my personal mazel tov, the ones already given, to the graduates, the class of 1987.
What did I say to you? You mean so much to me, and I love you for that. You have taught me a lot. You taught me to never give up on something I really want. the past 7 years, I've studied and learned at Hillel Academy. 7 years is a very long time for me. During those years, there have been many different kinds of classes at Hillel that I've had to take. And these classes you can't find in any other kind of school. I've been through thousands of Judaic studies classes, learning about King David and his prestigious reign of 40 years, or discussing ancient laws about property and personal possession. I've also studied the Hebrew language for 10 years and even went to Israel to test my skills. There has also been many English courses I've taken. By now, I believe I know every word of every Shakespearean play we have ever studied. And hopefully I've learned to write good. And finally, my science classes. I would like to thank my teacher, Mr. Carpenter, for putting up with the thought that at any minute I may blow up the whole school. Nonetheless, Hillel has been a second home to me. It, like any other household, has its good times to go along with the bad. But no matter what happens in Hillel, I do believe that the people there do really care about me and my performance academically and emotionally. My classmates have been brothers and sisters to me all while I was growing up. And now it will be very difficult for me to leave them and tell them goodbye. And it's also difficult for me to leave my entire life at Hillel. But even as I leave, I know Hillel has given me so much that I feel well prepared. I'm also glad that I've learned so much about my Jewish heritage. I really feel it is important to understand my religion to the fullest. So, as I stand here tonight, I feel as if the world is at my feet, and so many new and exciting opportunities await me. I would like to thank my friends, family, and Hillel for getting me up to this podium tonight. I wish everyone in my class and everyone in the class of 1987 luck towards each and every goal they may have. I would like to end my speech with a poem. It is dedicated to my classmates and my graduating friends. Keep a song of joy inside your heart, even though the time has come for us to part. We never really say goodbye. Don't forget the times we've shared today, sweet memories to keep us warm along the way. I'll hold you in my heart and try not to cry, because we never really say goodbye. Thank you.
To present this award named in honor of my parents. This year, my brother and I have established a scholarship in memory of our parents, Harry and Edith Weber, which will be included with all future awards. This year's award winner, Julianne Jacobs, has a long list of awards and achievements, which I would like to share with you.
Before I begin my speech, I would like to thank Hillel Academy and the Weber family for two of the most prestigious honors that I have ever received.
Presentation of diplomas.
While learning to fly, my instructor once told me, flying is hour after hour of numbing boredom, interrupted. And so for you seniors for the last time, Dr. Hellman prevails. This is a special class, a special group of young adults. Several of the graduated seniors started at Hillel in kindergarten, and many of them studied 6 or more years here. In addition to excelling academically, they have used their talents and feelings of Jewishness to attain positions of leadership within our community, and have made their presence felt and appreciated. Although tonight is primarily on our graduating seniors, I would like to momentarily redirect the congratulations in honor to your parents, your family members, and the Hillel faculty administration. Marcy Beth Gersh. Vicki Michelle Greenberg.
The opportunity to enter the banquet hall.
Milo Wallach will now deliver the invocation. Please remain standing for the singing of the Star Spangled Banner and Hatikva, led by Lori Bernstein.
I would like to quote a selection from Pirkei Avot. Its title is The Art of Living. I chose it because I feel it states the values that we have learned from Hillel. What course shall a man pursue in life? That which is honor to his Maker and brings him esteem from his fellow men. That Spirit of God takes delight in him who has won the favor of his fellow men. That say little and do much, and receive everyone with a cheerful countenance. Do not separate yourself from community. In a place where there are no men, strive to be a man. Before judging your fellow man, put yourself in his place. If I am not for myself, who will be for me? Yet if I am for myself alone, of what good am I? Who is wise? He who learns from all men. Who is strong? He who is master over all his impulses. Who is rich? He who rejoices in whatever is his portion. Who is honored? He who honors his fellow men. Do not say, when I have leisure I shall study. You may never have the leisure. Therefore, set a fixed time for the study of Torah. The more possessions one has, the more anxiety. But the more Torah, the more life. Let not your learning exceed your deeds, lest you be like a tree with many branches but few roots. Knowledge of Torah avails much, yet the chief purpose of its study is the doing of God's will. The more understanding one has, the more righteousness. The more righteousness, the more peace.
Please join me in the national anthem, followed by the Hatikva. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets red flare among bursting in air, they proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, the ballet of Nemo, Nefesh Yehudi Omiyah, Uvatei Mishra Rahima, Ayin Letzion Sophia, It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 1987 commencement exercises of Hillel Academy. I congratulate the 12 families of these graduates and know how much very proud you must feel at this special moment. And to you, the graduates, who have proven your merit and abilities And having reached this special moment, I wish the very best of luck to each and every one of you in all your future endeavors. I would now like to call upon Mr. Charles Abramovitz, President of the Jewish Federation of Greater Dayton, to bring greetings on behalf of the Federation.
On behalf of the Jewish Federation of Greater Dayton, I am pleased to bring our Mazel Tov and best wishes to you, the graduates, your families, and your school, Hillel Academy. In our continuing concern to improve Jewish education, the Federation has broadened its relationship with Hillel, establishing closer connections for all Jewish children in the community. We look to you, the graduates, to be leaders in a Jewish community, be it in Dayton or wherever you may choose to live. Only by your increasing commitment can our generation be assured that there will be a Jewish presence in the next generation. Your years at Hillel Academy have given you some of the necessary tools as well as a direction. As you continue your education, we hope you will make ongoing Jewish studies an integral part of this process. Each of you will become an asset to the community of your choice. Strengthen it and do your part in carrying on Jewish values. This is a lifelong mission for all of us, and we in Dayton are proud that you started here at Hillel Academy. Mazel tov on your achievements, and best wishes to each of you in the future.
Rabbi Samuel Fox will now deliver the Devar Torah.
First, it gives me great personal pleasure to add my personal mazel tov, the ones already given, to the graduate, the class of 1987, this historic year of the reestablishment of Medinat Yisrael, the 39th year of her existence, and the 20th year, the reunification of the holy eternal city of Jerusalem. I hope and pray that the parents, the grandparents, brothers, sisters, the ganze mishpochet, the entire family, will shed much Yiddish nachas from our graduates. A Jewish child at a very tender age learns to recite the passage, Torah tziva lanu Moshe morasha kilat Yaakov. Moses commanded unto us a Torah. It is the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. Our students who study at Hillel, our students who have to take exams, who study the Bible, Torah, Nevi'im, Ksuvim, who study Mishnah and Gemara, will readily testify that the Torah is not really a Yerusha, an inheritance as it is translated, but rather a Morasha. A Morasha I'd like to translate as heritage. For an inheritance, you don't exert yourself very much. It comes to you ipso facto, automatically. But to acquire Torah, you really have to toil and labor in the spiritual field and arena. Our students will testify that the Torah is not an inheritance, but rather a morasha, a heritage, one who wants to glean the sacred, the sublime, the inspiring teachings of our Jewish heritage must work and labor at it. There's a story that they tell about a Russian censer taker. He knocked on the door of this particular home. The man opened the door, and the censer taker asked, "Does Rabinovich live here?" The man answered, "No," and he closed the door. This government official looked again at his paper and record. It's the right house, it's the right address. He knocked again on the door. Door opened, and he asked, "Does Rabinovich live here?" And again the answer was no. The official turns to him and asks, "And what is your name?" And he answered quite calmly, "Rabinovich." And he said, "I thought you said you don't live here." And his reply was, "You call this living?" I want to say that Hillel Academy does not teach the students basically and fundamentally how to make a living, but rather how to make a life for themselves. And you've heard some of the beautiful ethical principles enunciated by one of our graduates, Mila. Beautiful, noble, sublime principles of ethics that we should strive to achieve in our daily lives. The supreme duty of every person is to make a life. Everyone can make a living. And certainly it is far more important, rather than making a living, to learn how to make a good life for yourself here on earth. Too many persons conduct their lives on the cafeteria plan. By that I mean it is self-service only. Our graduates have learned to give of themselves freely, willingly, generously for the welfare of others. They're concerned with their brethren in Russia, with our oppressed brethren in Arab countries and throughout the world. They want to render service and be a help to all Jews in need, to be a help to their fellow men. I'd like to share with you this Maisala, this story, that brings out the very good point that I want the graduates never to forget. We're told about a young couple who wanted to go on a 2-week vacation, and they decided to leave the little son David with the grandparents, with the Zayda and Bobby. And little David went with the Zayda every morning to shul, and he watched how his Zayda davened in shul. He put on talis and tefillin. When he came home, he observed how the Zayda benched, recited the grace after each meal, thanking God for our daily food and sustenance. Erev Shabbos, he saw his Bobby prepare for the Sabbath, and on the Sabbath he saw her light the Shabbos candles. And really, the beautiful atmosphere of the Holy Shabbat radiated throughout the home. He had also learned the meaning of the mezuzah that was affixed on the doorpost. Every time he left, he would kiss the mezuzah, and every time he entered the house, he sensed God's presence, and again he kissed the mezuzah. Well, when his parents came to take him home after their 2-week vacation, little David embraced the Zayda, kissed him and said, "Goodbye, Zayda." And he did the same thing with his Bobby, embraced her and kissed her and said, "Goodbye, Bobby." And then as the father went him out the door of the house, he pulled his father back to the door, and he asked him to lift him up. And as he raised him, he stretched out his hand to kiss the mezuzah. And as he left, he said, "Goodbye, God." To the graduates of Hillel Academy, I hope the learning and the inspiration they have received will sustain them and will remain with them throughout their lives. They will never say, "Goodbye, God," because they will always remember their roots, their identity as Jews. They will seek to put into practice their Jewish heritage, to give a good account of themselves in whatever they do. Torah is referred to as light. Our rabbis say, Torah or, the Torah is light. And my prayer for each and every one of you today is that may today light the way to bright new tomorrows for each and every one of you. God bless you today, tomorrow, and forevermore. Amen.
I can't believe how time goes by so fast. I still remember when I first came to Hillel. It was my 8th grade year. Since then, our class has shared so many good memories. Now, after being together for so long, we will go our separate ways, but the memories will always stay with us. From our senior seminar to other books we have read, I would like to thank all my teachers who have helped me and taught me a lot. To my mom. Mom, what could I say to you? You mean so much to me, and I love you for that. You have taught me a lot. You told me to never give up on something I really want. You have been very supportive and have always been there for me. Thank you. And to my class, you guys mean a lot to me. And the hardest thing for me to do is say goodbye. Good luck in college next year, and let's always keep in touch.
For the past 7 years, I've studied and learned at Hillel Academy. 7 years is a very long time for me. During those years, there have been many different kinds of classes at Hillel that I've had to take. And these classes you can't find in any other kind of school. I've been through thousands of Judaic studies classes, learning about King David and his prestigious reign of 40 years, or discussing ancient laws about property and personal possession. I've also studied the Hebrew language for 10 years and even went to Israel to test my skills. There has also been many English courses I've taken. By now, I believe I know every word of every Shakespearean play we have ever studied, and hopefully have learned to write good. And finally, my science classes. I'd like to thank my teacher, Mr. Carpenter, for putting up with the thought that at any minute I may blow up the whole school. Nonetheless, Hillel has been a second home to me. It, like any other household, has its good times to go along with the bad. But no matter what happens to Hillel, I do believe that the people there do really care about me and my performance academically and emotionally. My classmates have been brothers and sisters to me all while I was growing up. And now it will be very difficult for me to leave them and tell them goodbye. And it's also difficult for me to leave my entire life at Hillel. But even as I leave, I know Hillel has given me so much that I feel well prepared. I'm also glad that I've learned so much about my Jewish heritage. I really feel it is important to understand my religion to the fullest. So, as I stand here tonight, I feel as if the world is at my feet, and so many new and exciting opportunities await me. I would like to thank my friends, family, and Hillel for getting me up to this podium tonight. I wish everyone in my class and everyone in the class of 1987 luck towards each and every goal they may have. I would like to end my speech with a poem. It is dedicated to my classmates and my graduating friends. Keep a song of joy inside your heart, even though the time has come for us to part. We never really say goodbye. Don't forget the times we've shared today, sweet memories to keep us warm along the way. I'll hold you in my heart and try not to cry, because we never really say goodbye. Thank you. Nowadays to us graduates. But quite honestly, I don't know where I'm going. Oh, sure, I can tell you where I've been, but this is not the time or the place to get into that. But seriously, I can tell you where everyone will be next year for school, but not in 10 years, not even in 5 years for that matter. With each repetition of the question, where are you going, I got more and more nervous that I should know. And as time went on, I started to answer that question. My answers ranged from guitarist to President of the United States. And each time I answered, I was sincere with that answer. That is what I actually believed I wanted to do. But looking back now on all those answers, I realized that I'm right where I was. I still don't know where I'm going. I think that I can thank Hillel for making me certain how uncertain I am. But that is good because Hillel gave me the knowledge and confidence that I can do anything I set out to do with the grace of Derek Eric. Whether it is being an actress or a president, oh, but those are identical jobs, Hillel has educated me in more than factual knowledge. I have every faith in everyone that we will be just fine, regardless of whether or not we know where we are going. I would like to close with a poem that my parents once had me read. There are loyal hearts, there are spirits brave, there are souls that are pure and true. Then give to the world the best you have, and the best will come back to you. Give love, and love to your lifeless love, but strengthen your utmost need. Have faith, and a score of hearts will show their faith in your work and deeds. Give truth, and your gifts will be paid in kind, and honor will honor need. And the smile which is sweet will surely find a smile which is just as sweet. Give sorrow and pity to those who mourn. You will gather in flowers again. The scattered seeds from your thought-out thorns, though the sowing seem but vain. For life is the mirror of king and slave, 'tis just what we are and do. Then give to the world the best you have, and the best will come back to you.
Fellow graduates, family, and friends, as I stand here before you with my 11 other classmates, I have mixed emotions about my years at Hillel Academy. Since the school is so small, the class of '87 seems more like a family to me than just schoolmates. We have experienced good times, bad times, as well as scary times together. From our trips to Friendly to our canoe trips, from our talks at lunch to our graduation parties, the class of '87 has sure shared a lot together. Even though we are going our separate ways, I know that we will never forget the friends we've made with one another here at Hillel.
Shall not pass this way again. Although it borders thee with flowers, although I rest in fragrant bowers, and hear the singing of songbirds fleeing to highest heaven their gladsome flight, though moons are full and stars are bright, and winds and waves are softly sighing, while leafy trees make clover climb, though voices clear in joyous strain repeat a jubilant refrain, though rising suns their radiance throw on summer's green and winter's snow, in such rare splendor that my heart would ache from scenes like these to part, though beauties heighten and life's life brighten, and joys proceed from every pain, I shall not pass this way again. Although I have chosen to pass this way every day for 13 years, I am finally starting to realize that this is the end. The end. It gives a very scary and sad feeling to most people, but it shouldn't. It's such an exciting feeling. It's really more like the beginning. We have all enrolled at Hillel at different times in our lives. We've come here from many different educational backgrounds, yet we all have the same goal. Now that we have accomplished that goal, it's time to stand in the spotlight, cherish the moment, and move on. From this point, we will all be heading our separate ways. Whether it be north, south, east, or west, our memories will be the replacement for our many days together. The comfort and security of all our years together will soon be replaced by the excitement and exhilaration of our new environment. Therefore, I say once again, though beauties heighten and life lights brighten and joys proceed from every pain, I shall not pass this way again.
Let's take a walk through the bizarre yet interesting life of a Hillel Academy senior. Life here is a day-by-day process where many a fun time can be shared by all. Of course, there's the infamous reputation Hillel holds as a romper room, but life would not be as jovial and rewarding as it's been for me without it. The morning bell rings at an early 8 a.m., and of course, only half the class is present, because 8 a.m. is an odd time to start school. To start the day, the seniors and juniors are quizzed by Dr. Hellman on the Reds game from the night before. You don't know who won, or even who the Reds are? Well, you might as well forget passing the class, since of course, Pete Rose is a biblical personality. Humanities is certainly a class where everyone learns something about themselves, and where philosophies of life are explored. Me, I've decided to become an agnostic, existentialist dudette, and ponder the wonders of the world, like how Beethoven could be compared to the Beastie Boys. Chemistry was definitely the one class that made me realize how minute an individual is in the universe. But Mr. Carpenter helped me look beyond myself and towards the future and realize one can be as big as he, or in this case she, can be. Lab period was great, and something I'll never forget. Working with Dr. Smith's robot was great. Danger, danger, Dr. Greenberg, Dr. Gershi would yell at the appropriate times, especially when Mr. Carpenter wasn't around, for we were lost in lab. The class everyone waits for is study hall. Only at romper room are AP sun tanning and napping 101 and 102 available. While everyone is diligently studying, like in the hoity-toity literature class, I roam the corridors with my sidekick, Lori, to explore the vast halls of Hillel. There we found out how to build a car on a computer and how to fill up the snack machine like Mr. Snackman does so well. I was lucky enough to have my own hoity-toity class, Hebrew. I was the only student. It was difficult passing notes to myself. And worse yet, cheating on a test was just out of the question. The highlight of the day was lunch, not just for me, but for the entire class. It was a race to see who could get the first Diet Coke and who could be the first in line for potato bar day. But me, well, I had lunches on the terrace, sometimes even catered by the colonel. But that's another story. And I love that story. I learned about Don Quixote in my clase de Español. Reaching the conquered windmills is my destiny, just like Don Quixote's. I also learned many new words, like Coca-Cola. I can now go into any kosher Latin American restaurant and easily order a Coca-Cola. Gracias, Julia. David Copperfield would have to be the book I enjoyed the most this year. Why, you ask? Because I conquered a 500-page book in less than an hour. I have one person to thank for that achievement, and that's my best friend, Cliff. You know Cliff, dressed in black and yellow, and saying a lot in a little space. Cliff, could not be with us tonight, but I think he'll forever be in our hearts and in our hands. Usually, by the end of the day, 3 brave souls are left, those with the brains of the computer class. No, we don't carry slide rules in our pockets or speak in computer jargon. We're just 3 ladies who realize where the future is, and that's in computers. Because Mrs. Worsner insisted on the best, allowed us to listen to Peter Gabriel cassettes, and made classes so very enjoyable, the 3 of us learned a great deal. It's a full day of activities at Hillel Academy. As much as we all hate to admit it,
we are leaving Hillel as wise and matured people. Yes, we'll go our separate ways, but in our minds, we'll remember all of our hard work, our academic achievements, and especially our fun times together. I have often been asked why I chose to come to Hillel and why I have stayed here for 11 years. Many things have influenced my decision, but the unique atmosphere here has been the key that has kept me coming back. The atmosphere at Hillel can be described with one word: comfortable. Where else can you find people sitting in the hall with their feet up or trying to achieve that perfect summer tan while sitting outside in their spare time? For the most part, a great deal of trust is placed in the students. We are trusted to do what we feel is appropriate with our responsibilities, whether they are in the classroom or out. With this trust comes a certain amount of freedom. We are expected to be in our scheduled classes, but if we don't have a class, we are able to use our time to our best advantage, whether we choose to study or sleep. Yet, it's not all fun and games. Every once in a while, the discipline comes through. We do have to take tests and do our assignments, and oh yes, dress appropriately. But still, the most prevalent feeling I will take with me from Hillel is care. The people at Hillel are some of the most caring and concerned I have ever encountered. The friendships are great. The faculty is always here to give us that little extra push when necessary, or even when not. And the parents are very supportive. Together, over the years, the 12 of us, with the help of our parents and the faculty, have worked and played, laughed and cried, and fought and compromised. From the nurturing atmosphere of Hillel, we have become independent, responsible, and caring individuals. I am proud to be a Hillel graduate.
Many people have asked me what is so special about Hillel. Certainly, a public school offers things that Hillel lacks: a football team, a basketball team with height, and many people from which to choose friends. Even without these, there is something special about Hillel. We live in a very secular world. From all sides, we are bombarded with assimilation and conformism, encouraged by individual uncertainty. To be able to resist the attraction of conforming, one must be able to make independent decisions. Hillel, as a religious school in a secular world, is itself an example of individuality. Hillel teaches more than just religion. It teaches free thought. Judaism is one of the few religions that does not preach blind obedience. To make up your mind about how traditional to be, you have to understand not only the consequences of your choice, but also the different choices themselves. At Hillel, we have never had a class that tells how to act in a given situation, only the many options one has. Now that I am finally leaving home, I will have many decisions to make, and because of Hillel, I can understand and evaluate these choices. I would also like to thank Hillel's excellent teachers, two very patient women, Mrs. Corin and Mrs. Ickes, have put up with my behavior in Hebrew class. אני יודע שאני לא בדיוק התלמיד האידיאלי, ולא תמיד אני מביע את הערכתי הנכונה במקצועות היהדות, אבל אני מחויב להודות שלמדתי משהו, ובעצם די הרבה. כל זה כמובן ניתן לי בזכות האישיות המיוחדת שלכם, ובדרך המיוחדת שבה לימדתם אותי. על כל זאת אני מביע את תודתי לכם. Thanks to Mrs. Yoga, what I just said in Hebrew means, I know that I am far from the model student, and I do not always show my appreciation. But I must admit, I even learned a little, maybe even a lot. All this is due to your unique personality and the special way you taught class. For all of this, thank you. In the secular courses, Hillel is also outstanding. It is the teacher's job not only to teach their course, but to instill in their students a passion for the subject. Mr. Carpenter, Mr. Payne, Mrs. Rizzo, and Dr. Martin have more than succeeded. Under their care, the subjects came alive, and I carried this gift to college with me. They taught me to look around and to see what I could not see before. I owe these people a lot, and though I can never say thank you enough, I certainly can't try. Thank you. God made mud. God got mud. So God said to some of the mud, sit up. See all like me, said God. And I was some of the mud that got to sit up and look around. Lucky me, lucky mud. Nice going, God. I feel very unimportant compared to you. The only way I can feel the least bit important is to think of all the mud that didn't even get to sit up and look around. I got so much, and most mud got so little. Thank you for the honor. To my teachers, my friends, and my family, thank you for the honor.
The Weapon family was instrumental in founding the high school of Hillel Academy. Edith and Harry Weppert were particularly supportive of this educational facility. I would now like to introduce their son, William Weppert, to present the Edith and Harry Weppert Scholastic Achievement Award.
It is always a great privilege to present this award named in honor of my parents. This year, my brother and I have established a scholarship in memory of our parents, Harry and Edith Weppert, which will be included with all future awards. This year's award winner, Julie Ann Jacobs, has a long list of awards and achievements, which I would like to share with you. At Hillel, she served as president of the student council, spent 4 years on the staff of the school yearbook, was very active in the Model United Nations program, and had the lead role in the school play There's Charlie. Julie was a charter member of the Torah High School Network, an international organization of Hebrew high schools, where she served as chairman of the Constitution Committee. She has served outside of Hillel as well. She was president of the BBYO chapter Hatikva, and is currently captain of Hatikva's softball team. She is the recipient of the Sarah Office Award from the Dayton Jewish Center. She participated in the University of Dayton Summer Advanced Program, is a member of the Spanish Honor Society and the National Honor Society. And this fall, she will continue her education at the University of Michigan. Julie, it is a great pleasure and a deep honor to present this award to you.
Before I begin my speech, I would like to thank Hillel Academy and the Weapon family for two of the most prestigious honors that I have ever received. I'd like to thank the Weapon family not only for honoring me, but also for their continued interest in the school. And now, to Hillel, I would like to express my gratitude for the 15 years that it has served as a second home to me. As the saying goes, there's no place like home. So too, there's no place like Hillel. I know of no other school that is so wholeheartedly concerned in the contentment of its students. Every student is made to feel comfortable and secure while still accomplishing a rigorous schedule of advanced courses in an 8-hour day. Also, I know of no other school, at least in Dayton, with a class consisting of 12 students. Being a part of a small school has been a unique experience and has allowed me to have a better, more thorough understanding of both myself and of people. I would never give back the experiences or the special friendships of the 11 people sitting beside me. Another irreplaceable experience has been my relationships with my teachers. Teachers at Hillel are truly dedicated to their students and provide support and encouragement to do more and to be more. It is this incentive that has helped me to choose what my message should be. I feel that every person is capable of doing more and being more. Everyone has the ability to make a significant mark on society. Anything is possible in today's world, and everyone must learn that no feat is too difficult and no dream is too big. Do not set your standards as the norm. Make life a challenge. Without high aspirations and goals, one has nothing to strive for and can never be completely satisfied. I have also discovered that one of the most important aspirations of all is happiness. It is essential to maintain a positive attitude because anyone could ever succeed. And now I would like to take this opportunity to thank my parents for encouraging me to do all that I can and all that makes me happy. They have never held me back, but have pushed me and reminded me that I can be anything I want to be. My parents' philosophy has always been the same as the eminent author Somerset Maugham, who once wrote, "It is a funny thing about life. If you refuse to accept anything but the best, you very often get it." To Brad and Susan, all I can say is that I could not have asked for a more wonderful brother or sister. Susan, I'll miss you terribly next year. And Brad, I'm looking forward to sharing your campus with you. Also, I'd like to give my love and respect to my grandparents and thank them for being here and for being so special. In closing, I would like to thank Hillel Academy, the teachers, and all of you for a graduation that none of us will ever forget.
I'd like to now call up Mr. Franklin to receive the class gift. This is a gift that Hillel needs very badly. I'll let you open up and I'll explain.
Batteries. Good in actuality.
And the reason for the camera is because 2 years ago I was a yearbook editor, and I knew we were always running around looking for the perfect camera to use. Well, our class decided that a camera is in need, and it's about time that Rabbi Trails got rid of his old wind-up and crank it out camera.
I understand the Smithsonian has been waiting for that camera, and for the administration and for especially future students, I think.
Dear graduates, in the Torah portion this week, Baalotcha, we encountered two incidents in which the children of Israel, as is their nature, complained about their conditions in the desert. In one case, although they were sustained by the manna from heaven, they protest the lack of meat and fondly recall the bounty of the food available to them in Egypt. "Vayivku gam b'nei Yisrael vayamru mi yachilenu basar, zacharnu et hadaga asher nachal b'mitzrayim chinam. The children of Israel wept and said, "Would that we were given meat to eat. We remember the fish which we were wont to eat in Egypt for free, cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic. But now our soul is dried away. There is nothing at all. We have not saved this manna." How could Bnei Israel, now living in freedom under God's protection, have so distorted their memory of Egypt, the house of bondage? Or was it really so? Professor Necham Leibowitz provides an answer. There was not an ounce of truth in their words. Meat they had never tasted and their fill of bread they had not enjoyed. They had drawn an exaggerated, idealized picture of the past. What had prompted them to paint such a picture? In Egypt they had admittedly been slaves, borne down by suffering and misfortune, but they had at least been freed, like all slaves, from one thing, from responsibility for their own destiny, their own economic and social order. They were in the charge of a taskmaster who got them out to work, beat them, urged them to finish their tasks, but also fed them that they might have strength to work. Now they were free. The whole burden of responsibility in their independent life was theirs, and this was the source of their discontent. Unable to extricate themselves from their past, Jews who left Egypt were doomed to wander the desert, incapable of facing their future, seemingly insurmountable task of conquering the land of Israel. It was the next generation, born into freedom, which would, on the contrary, derive strength from its past in order to overcome challenges and fulfill its destiny. As it was with the children of Israel in the desert, so it is with the child growing into adulthood. There are many milestones in the life of the child when greater independence is achieved, bringing with it greater responsibility. Faced with new responsibilities, the natural initial tendency is to retreat. Who can forget those feelings, the first day at a new school, first day at camp, start of a new job, in our insecurity hoping for someone to rescue us. Yet those who persevere found within themselves the strength to accomplish new and exciting achievements. Tonight we mark a major transition in your lives, a transition which might generate some insecurity, but which holds within it the potential for tremendous growth, for the conquering of new challenges. At Hillel, we have tried to give you the tools to face those challenges, a rich heritage upon which to draw, independent thought, moral development, responsibility for action, and a sense of personal identity. It's our hope that your path at Hillel will give you the strength to create a beautiful and meaningful future. That, as your ancestors of 3,000 years ago were able to effect the conquest of Eretz Israel, you will find no test insurmountable in the fulfillment of your personal destiny. That you will accept the charge uttered by Theodore Herzl as he charted the modern acquisition of the land of Israel. Im tirtzu ein tu agada. If you will it, it is no dream.
George, Daphne, Lori, Scott, Roberta, Marcy, Vicki, Julie, Becca, Michelle, Stephanie, Marla, ladies and gentlemen. In previous addresses and writings, I have touched upon the idea of the questing mind. If there is one single quality that distinguishes the human being, it is his questing mind. In spite of the disappointments and disasters which he may witness in his civilization, in spite of the erosion and crumbling of his social and governmental institutions, man refuses to renounce his search for greater understanding of himself and of the world he inhabits. He keeps trying, he keeps seeking, he keeps fighting ever to overcome the dark side of his nature, and for once to institute a period of human history which will truly be worthy of him, of all he knows that he can be or become. Since we have not yet attained the golden age, much of your past studies have been, quite simply, a record of man's failures along the way. Yet, they are interesting failures, and they should give heart to students of today, for there is light in them, there are flashes of illumination which reveal what man could be, and all of them taken together show that man's questing mind is still alive, still undiscouraged, in spite of the less than perfect world he inhabits. In your studies of history, literature, science, and the humanities, you have encountered many ideas which have been termed seminal, ideas instrumental in shaping the development of Western civilization. That many of these ideas deal with unsolved, recurrent problems of human nature should cause no surprise. The waste of the good, for one example, was as painful and as poignant to the Greeks and the Romans as it is today, and as much an incomprehensible tragedy to Athens and Rome as it is to Washington. We may be halfway to the stars, but we have very little more control over human destiny than the Greeks had 3,000 years ago. To the modern student, this fact should afford a certain amount of comfort as well as challenge. The world is indeed his to shape and fashion and change if he can. Every generation since the time of the ancient civilizations has tried. Yet, although vast changes have been effected in most of what is not human, the human being with his unpredictable nature has altered surprisingly little. What then is the point of further study at the collegiate level or through adulthood, of adding further proof of the perplexing nature of the human condition and of the apparent insolubility of human problems? There is a reason, and I believe a valid one. Students need to know, to be constantly reminded that the world they do not find perfect has never been perfect, that the injustices which they see and against which they protest have existed, though in different outward forms, for thousands of years, that every attempt to change the human condition solely by legislation and not by a change in personal or collective behavior has ended in deepened disaster. Yet finally, that these attempts, which are necessary if we are to endure, have all been undertaken by students, individuals who, whatever their chronological age, were marked and motivated by that youthfulness of spirit which is the hallmark of the questing mind. In a recent conversation with a college counselor, I asked her assessment of the college students of today, an unfair question considering the population mix on campus. However, her response was swift and direct. She characterized today's students as self-centered, caring mostly for immediate achievement and future material success. She noted that the present campus population lacks the social spirit that informed the minds and deeds of the students of the 2 previous decades. I hope this assessment does not hold true for you. I hope that the teachings of our heritage remain clear and steadfast in your hearts and minds. Do not separate yourself from the congregation. Justice, justice you will pursue. Love your neighbor as yourself. Seek peace and pursue it. Where there are no men, strive to be a man. If I am only for myself, what am I? I wish for your college years and beyond a life informed by a questing mind, an understanding heart, political concern, and a social conscience. Mr. Franklin, I have the privilege to certify that these graduates have completed all requirements for graduation as adopted by the Hillel Academy of Faith and Board of Trustees. On behalf of Rabbi Fearless, faculty, I present them to you for presentation of diplomas.
While learning to fly, my instructor once told me, flying is hour after hour of numbing boredom, interrupted by moments of fleeting terror. In the same way, the past year as president of Hillel Academy has been hours and hours of frustration, worry, and meetings, interrupted by moments of pure pleasure. Welcome to such a moment. Before presenting the diplomas, I'd like to share some thoughts I have regarding this class and Hillel. Scott said I shouldn't. Dr. Hellman said I could. And so for you seniors, for the last time, Dr. Hellman prevailed. This is a special class, a special group of young adults. Several of the graduating seniors started at Hillel in kindergarten, and many have studied 6 or more years here. In addition to excelling academically, they have used their talents and feelings of Jewishness to attain positions of leadership within our community, and have made their presence felt and appreciated. Although they represent only a small percentage of Dayton Jewish seniors, you have before you 4 presidents of B.B. Wiley chapters, 3 Sarah L. Office Award winners, a National Merit Scholar, a chairman and a chairwoman of the Dayton Jewish Federation Youth Campaign, a David Mark Berger Award winner,
House Term of Service Award. Not all their time was spent studying, though. They had enough time to enjoy an active social life. In fact, 3 of them were named Beaux and Sweethearts of Dayton's BBYO chapters. Although the focus of attention tonight is primarily on our graduating seniors, I would like to momentarily redirect the congratulations and honor to your parents, your family members, and the Hillel faculty and administration. Whether this class's achievements are due to genetics or environment, it is you who have fought, argued with, and motivated them, and you also deserve the kavod, the honor. You seniors have worked hard and long to reach this moment. You brought great honor and recognition to yourselves, your parents, your community, and your school. With this in mind, it is my pleasure to present these diplomas to the class of 1987. George David Abrams, Jr. Daphna Ardeen. Lori Beth Bernstein. Scott Victor Franklin. Roberta Beth Lincoln. Marcy Beth Gersh. Vicki Michelle Greenberg. Julie Ann Jacobs. Rebecca Gale Gotti. Michelle Robin Marger. Stephanie Jill Schneider. And Mila Lydian Walker.
Rebecca and I, along with the senior class, would like to make this presentation to all of you.
What we did is we collected a lot of pictures from each person in the class throughout the years,